Now you're welcome back. Irish Open is on at Galgorm Castle from tomorrow. Very happy to say Stephanie Meadow, LPGA Tour player, joins us from Arizona. I presume you're at home. How you doing? Good to have you with us again.
In Phoenix, Arizona. So
we can see you. Oh, we have you now. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. We have you now. So sorry, you're at home, are you, Arizona?
Yeah, yes, I'm back at home. So yeah, off week this week, and it's nice and hot here.
Well, getting less hot by the day here, but it's great to have you with us. So, well, I know you know Galgorm very well. Kind of a cool thing worth mentioning, first of all, though, yourself and Shane Lowry have one of the same sponsors, Adidas. And so at this week, the Irish Open right across the week, Shane on his clothing is going to replace the Adidas with the 20x20 logo, which is very much about highlighting awareness in women's sport and the coverage of women's sport. Hashtag Think It, Ask It is the message this week. So we're going to see Shane in his 20x20 gear all week, which is kind of a cool thing. So that was a nice idea. Did you dream that up?
I wish I could say I did, but no, Adidas thought that all up by themselves. I have known about it for a little while, and I just think it's great that Shane is willing to, wear the logo, and obviously he has a daughter, so it's something that kind of touches home with him as well. So it's fabulous exposure, and it's just great to see kind of support from the other side as well.
Well, great. Listen, hopefully he goes on and wins, and it's there on Sunday as he's lifting the trophy. So Galgorm Castle, I mean, events have dictated the rota in various ways. Galgorm Castle, I think one of the benefits is it's a five-star resort and everybody can be in the bubble and it works from a logistical point of view. What about the course itself? I know you won there back last year, the World Invitational there, so you've got a soft spot for Galgorm.
Oh yeah, 100%. Obviously they're one of my sponsors as well, so big soft spot there. But it's like you said, it's a fabulous resort, and the golf course is second to none. So I was just reading an article there where Padraig Harrington had said that people had told him the golf course was easy, and then he lost like 3 balls off the first tee because the rough's so high. So that's good to hear. I think that'll be a nice challenge for the guys on the European Tour.
I had also heard it would be easy, and I saw on the Challenge Tour, I think 19 under was a winning score. Ryan Fox a couple of years ago. Maybe they've let the rough grow. It's tree-lined, isn't it? Lots of dog legs. Is that the general sense of the course?
Yeah, lots of dog legs. So kind of point A to point B golf, maybe 3 wood off the tee, or, I mean, it's a little different from the girls' tees. But yeah, I mean, if the rough gets up, that makes every golf course a lot harder. And I know they have great greens there, so they are going to make a lot of putts because the greens are so good. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And obviously a lot of it depends on weather as well.
You mentioned the rough there. I mean, tough unless you're Bryson DeChambeau. What did you make of this?
Yeah, very interesting. I looked at all the stats that came out after the Open, and he's 7th in driving distance. So yes, he hits it far, but he's also 2nd in up and down. So that's pretty impressive short game right there, to be able to hit it so far and then to have the touch around the greens and be able to putt as well. So he's very talented. I personally don't think it's just all about him bombing it. Like, he's very talented in a lot of other areas as well.
No, totally agree. It's all been lost. He's beefed up. He seems to hit a long way, but as you said, he's only 7th in distance. Yeah. It's not like he's doing something revolutionary, even though that's, I think, the message that's out there at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at him and you see it right away, and it's a fun story. And yes, he is hitting it, remarkably far. I wish I could do the same, but he's got some amazing talents elsewhere, and I hope that people can still remember that that's a huge part of the game. And if he didn't have that, he probably wouldn't have even made the cut last week. So people should remember that.
I was having a look. So you're averaging 254 yards off the tee, give or take. That kind of puts you somewhere around top 60 on the LPGA Tour. Is the distance thing becoming increasingly a factor there? Like, are there a few Brysons trying to push the limits? Where are we in distance in the women's game?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Lexi Thompson obviously hits it super far, but also Anne Van Dam just came out, and I think she's by far the longest hitter. I don't think she hits driver everywhere like what the men would do. So it might not show up in the stats. So, but there's definitely, the younger girls are coming out. Everybody's hitting it further, and it's something that you have to be on top of. You can't hit it 220, 230 out there anymore. You're just not going to be able to compete. So, yeah, definitely trying to keep up.
And how do you try and keep up? You can lose. I mean, geez, you can lose your game chasing distance.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a fine balance, and you have to take the risk. I mean, Bryson took a huge risk, and he seemed to actually, been able to handle it well. He's still hitting relatively straight compared to the distance, but yeah, I mean, work out, try to find every ounce of advantage you can in your swing to kind of make it more technically sound and more efficient. And then obviously keep up with the technology. Callaway, my club sponsor, they have new stuff coming out constantly. So you just got to make sure that you've got the newest and greatest thing.
So you're busy at the moment. I mean, there's lots going on. I know you said a bit of an off week at the moment. The British Open, tied 39th, the weather looked miserable. I mean, oh my God, miserable. I was sat there on the Friday one day, like I had a bar of chocolate, hot cup of coffee, and I was delighted to be indoors. So Sophia Popov, outside of the world's top 300, an amazing story. She won. How did you feel you got on yourself? Were you happy with T39?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, the weather was brutal. The second day I really kind of hung in there. So I got soaked on, I think, 10. The whole way through, golf bag was completely soaked. I had to hair dry it after. So, but it's part of it. It's links golf. I feel like I probably could have done a little better on the weekend. There's a lot more birdies out there on the weekend than there was the first 2 days, but I just didn't capitalize. But I mean, it's a major. It's another cut made, another top 40 finish, and just got to keep building on it. And obviously to watch Sophia win, I've known her for, gosh, I don't know how many years now. I grew up playing European teams with her back in the day when she was playing for Germany. So, nice. Yeah, to see her win, it just kind of opens everybody's eyes to, wait a second, everybody can do that. She's been through a lot of health stuff and challenges, and she's come out the other side. So definitely very motivating and an inspiring story, and great for a friend to win. I mean, dream come true for her.
Yeah, she seemed like a very popular winner with all her colleagues and the fellow players. And you mentioned the health issues, I think Lyme disease and, very debilitating stuff. So the talent was obviously always there. But geez, doesn't it show the volatility of golf and the fine margins? Like there's very few sports where the 300th ranked competitor can win.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at it, if you could just be one shot better around, or even 2 shots better a tournament, what that does for your year. And that's why the mental side of it is so important. You can't give anything up there. And yeah, I mean, that's one of the greatest things about golf, that people can win from, like you said, 300 in the world and have a chance. And I think that's really fun to watch.
The ANA Inspiration was the other major, 51st place there. You've got the US Open in December, and I think the USPGA is next month. It's really hard to keep track of the schedule in every sport at the moment. So more majors to come. How are you feeling, so these 2 majors and 2 to come, as opposed to a regular tour event? Do you feel like you're settling into the rounds as quickly? Are nerves a factor? What's your approach to them mentally? Are you trying to treat them like normal events, or acknowledging that they are majors and treating them a bit differently?
I think I acknowledge them that they are majors, and it's kind of fun for me to think of that. Everybody dreams about playing in majors and winning, so you might as well use that to your advantage. But I think this year, more than anything, it doesn't really feel like a major because there's no people there and there's no big grandstands, and so they feel more normal than they typically would. Which I wish they felt like more like majors. I love having people there and kind of performing under that kind of pressure or crowd or whatever, but. Yeah, I mean, try to stick to normal routine and try to peak around those areas. We have a lot of training plans, and we're always, trying to peak at the right week. Doesn't always work in golf, but that's our attempt.
How's life in the bubble generally, logistically, COVID? I mean, geez, you're one of the few people who's navigating around the world and hopping around to different continents at the moment. So is it pretty dull around tournament week? Do you have much freedom to do anything?
The British was tough. Like, we were in a very strict bubble. We couldn't go anywhere, basically golf course and hotel. And actually, Kyle, my fiance who caddies on tour, we couldn't even stay in the same room. So that was interesting. And,
it's like staying over with your parents again.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it was a little weird, but we have to do what we got to do. I think this whole year, everybody knows that. A little more freedom in the States as far as obviously we can stay together and we can, leave the hotel, but we just have to pick up food and take it back and that sort of thing. So, yeah, I mean, they're doing a really good job, though. We haven't really had that many positive tests, which is nice. Definitely used to getting stuff shoved up my nose by now, and the spit test at home, which I'm about to do after this interview. So, yeah, it's part of normal life. It's kind of weird how normal it's getting.
Yeah. I haven't had the pleasure of the COVID test up the nose, thankfully. It doesn't look much fun.
No, it's not really that fun. Although I will say, you know, we have to do the saliva test at home, and I prefer the nose one because it's just over and done with. The saliva takes a little while.
Okay. What a strange world that this is what we're talking about at the moment. So what's the schedule like over the next couple of weeks in the build-up to the USPGA? Are you busy?
Yeah, so I'm going to leave on Saturday. Heading out to New Jersey. We have one event before the PGA called the ShopRite Classic. But my coach is actually out in New Jersey in the summer, so I'm going to stop by him on Sunday and work with him for the day. And then it'll be the ShopRite Classic and then the KPMG PGA Championship after that.
Great.
Then a week off and then another drive-on event, which they've filled in because Asia was cancelled.
Okay. They've done, in fairness to them, a pretty good job on the LPGA Tour to keep this show on the road, haven't they?
Definitely. You know, I think we had a few sponsors that, you know, were kind of iffy, and they've done a good job of kind of keeping them in place and being able to play. And, you know, Fair Play like Walmart increased this year, which was fantastic. So, you know, it just shows we have really good sponsors and they want to support us even, you know, when they might be struggling this year.
And am I right in saying there's no, you know, in terms of keeping your card this season, it's almost like a free hit for everybody. No one's going to be relegated to the second tour.
Yeah, it's a free year basically. Make some money. If you win, you keep that winner status for next year. So that's really the only way you can improve your status. It can't get worse. So. Yeah, it's kind of it's interesting, you know, not to have to think about it, which is something that everybody normally would be thinking about by this time of the year. But it's kind of refreshing, and I think you can maybe try a few things and just kind of go for it. You know, there's nothing to lose. Yeah,
totally. Aggressive play. As you said, nothing to lose. You'll probably never have that opportunity in your golfing career again. Well, I hope we won't. I hope we're not here next year with another free year.
I really hope so too.
Okay, very good. Well, listen, thanks so much for checking in. We'll be keeping an eye on you over the coming weeks, and if we're not talking to you before the USPGA, the very best of luck at that. Stephanie Meadow, always a pleasure. Thanks, Emil.
Thank you. Thank you. Cheers.
Off the ball on News Talk.